message that is repeated in many of the pulpits in Nigeria and Africa, even in the United States of America, from whence the gospel came, is that we must seek every opportunity to make money. That we must accumulate wealth. And if our conscience bothers us, then we say, well, we just want to be kingdom treasurers. But Jesus is clear. He's not impressed by wealth, by the wealthy, or by wealth. Jesus has never been impressed by wealth. We're on earth. Indeed, whenever Jesus spoke about wealth, it was always a warning. Always a warning. In Matthew 6, verse 19 to 21, Matthew 6, 19 to 21, Jesus said, and he warned us, he said, don't store treasures on earth, but in heaven. And then he makes a powerful statement, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Now, in other words, what you value most is what you will truly worship, no matter what you say with your mouth. What you value most is what you will truly worship. And it doesn't matter what you say. That's irrelevant. And Jesus explains why this matters. In Matthew 6:24, he says, you cannot serve God and money at the same time. You must choose one. No one can serve two masters. For either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. And Jesus understood the compelling and beguiling power of money. He understood it. And the ability of money to even derail those who set out to do right. At the beginning of the ministry of Jesus Christ, Satan offered Jesus Christ the world and its riches. Satan offered him the glory of the whole world and the riches of the world. If money were not powerful, if money were not definitive and able to derail and able to confuse, able to beguile and destroy, Satan would not have offered Jesus. He offered him money, offered him the riches of this world, instead of death on the cross and salvation for the world. Christ turned it down. There would have been no gospel if Christ had fallen to the temptation. And he then warned those of us who will be his followers that money, the love of money, will be the greatest competition with the love of God. The love of money, he said, will be the greatest competition with the love of God. You cannot serve God and mammon. Both can be served, and you cannot serve both. So what does the gospel say about governance, the marketplace, and even running our individual lives? And as we said earlier, the institutions of government, education, commerce, and we've said that in Europe and later America were dramatically transformed by Christian values. Christian values such as integrity, such as hard work, education, care for the vulnerable, and justice, propagated and practiced by Christians of that era. I'm going to elaborate very briefly on some of those pillars and the teachings around those pillars. Take, for example, the concept of work. Work as a divine principle. Integrity, trust as a currency of business. The rule of law and justice. Care for those who cannot work or the poor. Let's take work as a divine principle. Work. God set the pattern of work, and I'm preaching as though I were a Puritan because this is what they preached. God set the pattern of work and productivity in Genesis 2 verse 2. Genesis 2 verse 2. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. This is God setting the standard for work. That work is a divine principle. That work is a way of creativity. The second reason is that humans are made in the image of God. Genesis 1:27. Genesis 1:27. Humans are made in the image of God. And so, they inherit God's creative abilities. According to the teaching, humans are unique among God's creations because they possess the gift of versatile creativity. This means that only humans have the ability to be productive, to add value to raw materials, and thus create and multiply wealth. So the gospel's view on wealth and godly economic success is that there must be work, productive or creative work, to produce wealth or material success. Work